Good morning. Stars above, stars below. Happy they who solve the riddle. Thank you, Alan Watts, for sharing this wisdom from an ancient sage. Somewhere in your writings, I couldn't find it. If you saw my library, you would know why. This was a formative teaching for me. Watts was an early teacher and inspiration who introduced many of us to Zen. He is one of my teachers and heroes. I've been fascinated with how these influences share a quality of expansiveness, of spaciousness. Stars above, stars below. Not much of a riddle, but it's sage advice nonetheless, a reminder. Did any of you see the early morning sky this past week? Thursday was a perfect morning to observe Bodhi Day, remembering the enlightenment of Siddhartha Gautama, who after a period of intense meditation awoke to the sight of the morning star and declared, I, together with all beings, am simultaneously enlightened. We are indeed one. Why the morning star? There's a question to dive into. Let me hazard a start and point out the obvious. We are on a planet in space. Isn't that a perennial source of wonder and awe? Stars above, stars below. The vision of Earth and space reminds me of Rilke. I live my life in widening rings, which spread over earth and sky. I may not ever complete the last one, but that is what I will try. For me, Walt Whitman exemplifies expansiveness. He continues to be a traveling companion and fellow dreamer. Space and time. Now I see it as true, what I'd guessed at, what I'd guessed when I loafed on the grass, what I guessed at while I lie on my bed. And again, as I walk the beach under the paling stars of morning, there's that morning star again. My ties and ballasts leave me. My elbows rest in sea gaps. I skirt sierras. My palms cover continents. I am afoot with my vision. Another hero of mine is Olaf Stapledon. He was a British philosopher, political activist, and a novelist who taught Walt Whitman to coal miners and wrote the novel Star Maker. A storyteller recounts a cosmic journey which begins on a hilltop overlooking his little village, and with this stark realization, I perceived that I was on a little round grain of rock and metal, filmed with water and with air, whirling in sunlight and darkness. And on the skin of that little grain, all the swarms of men, generation by generation, had lived in labor and blindness, with intermittent joy and intermittent lucidity of spirit. And all their history, with its folk wanderings, its empires, its philosophies, its proud sciences, its social revolutions, its increasing hunger for community, was but a flicker in one day of the life of stars. Talk about existential angst. Our hero in this case overcomes their angst and relishes the view of Earth from space and forges ahead on the journey to the stars. There was a time when the view of Earth from space was the product of imagination. Now, thanks to Stuart Brand and NASA, the view is commonplace. In 1966, Stuart Brand picketed at UC Berkeley and MIT with a sandwich board bearing the following question. Why haven't we seen a photograph of the whole Earth yet? Really, he did that. Well, we had to wait until December 24th, 1968, when Earthrise, the first photo of Earth, would be taken from Apollo 8. and by Bill Anders. And Apollo 17 brought us the blue marble picture that you're all familiar with in 2007. The image of the whole earth forced all who saw it to think holistically, wrote scientist Andrew Kirk, affirming the poetic vision of Robinson Jeffers, another hero, who wrote, "Integrity is wholeness. The greatest beauty is organic wholeness, the wholeness of life and things, the divine beauty of the universe. Love that, not man apart from that. Or else you will share man's pitiful confusions or drown in despair when his days darken." In this season of Thanksgiving, I'm grateful to the poets and the mystics who intuited our place in the universe, and to the scientists who confirmed what the poets guessed at. Stars above, stars below. Aren't you happy we solved that riddle?